Hello YouTube. I'm making this video because I just got a new pair of Bilstein upper control arms for a 5th gen 4Runner, and I thought I've not seen anyone post this upper control arms yet in detail, so I thought I will let anybody who was curious like me see how they are. And honestly, the main reason why I did is because as soon as I started opening the package and I saw how neatly packaged these come, I gotta say I gotta give props to Bilstein, because this is some of the best packaging and honestly some of the best quality upper controllers I've seen in a long time. I am coming from a pair obviously of stock upper control arms that are removed from the 4Runner. These have been off the truck for a couple of years. I have them, just in case. And I know a lot of people give this upper control arms some crap, but I personally think they're a great design because they are good enough for what they were intended to do. I also have a pair of Elevate upper control arms that I was trying out because they have the same rubber bushings as the factory ones and the top of ball joint. Let me try the Bilsteins since I am installing 6112s and 5160s. Let me just make everything Bilstein. This Elevate ones, they're nice and they're coming at a lower cost. I think it was like $600 for the set. Does not include a cap. That's a separate cost. But when I was installing the cap, I chipped the paint, and I think this is paint. I don't think that's powder coated, but you can tell. So I say, heck, why not give the Bilsteins a try? I've tried in the past, a set of Icons. I think these are actually a really good set. This is a good all-around, all you need, but it has some major annoying flaws. For one, I've had to replace the delta joint twice already. Once it failed me. Second time, the grease got stuck and this whole thing bulged up. It turned into a little volcano, and I knew it was just a matter of time to fail. So Icon was kind enough to give me a new set on the warranty. It cost me nothing. I appreciated that, but I thought I want to go back to more factory type specs. And then the other thing that I don't like about these is that the little cap that they give you, you have to use basically like an adhesive every time you take it off, on and off, and it's an absolute pain. And I try my best to keep this clean, but every time I removed it and I cleaned it, the paint got dirty, it got chipped, and eventually I just got tired of putting them on. And then this started rusting like crazy. So it's like, heck, I'll come off. But the one thing I will say about these is that they always clear, even when I lifted the truck by about 3 inches. So they always allow for my proper alignment. I'm showing all of that just to show you where I'm coming from, so you can see how neatly packed all of this is. They even include the grease. They use very nice foam. Look at that. Look how neatly wrapped that is. Let's put this aside. Hard to do this with. Okay, I have to do both hands. Okay. As always, stickers. Yeah, nice packaging. I don't know, it's just a sign to me of quality whenever something comes so neat. The other thing I really like about Bilstein from every part I've ever installed is that the instructions are super clear. Look at this. I like that they're printed, so I don't have to go to a website. It's all organized. Just by looking at this, I can tell the quality of this. It's so high. Okay, got it all out of the plastic. But look how, okay, this is how nice this is. It comes with a cardboard backing to prevent the instructions from getting all folded during transportation. How cool is that? I know packaging is not like the end all be all, but to me that's an indication of how nice or how much care a company puts to their products. Plus, these don't cost more than the other ones. Like, they definitely don't cost more than the icons. I think the icons are the most expensive at roughly $750 to $800. And then the elevates are like $600. I think these are like $700. But yeah, so here's a closer look. That that's a sticker, and I don't love that, but it doesn't look bad, and it looks like a high quality sticker. Yeah, look at those welds. This one is similar in some ways to the icons. The Gus, I think Gus's is called, right? These are thicker. I would say the icon paint job or powder coating is really good. It took a lot of abuse, especially when I was learning to install these. Here it is next to the elevates. Now the elevates, I don't understand why they did this lump. I think it's supposed to be like another piece of steel here, and then they welded around it, but it looks lumpy. I don't know why they did that. I'm sure it's just as strong. Yeah, like look at this. Like all this for just holding the ABS wire. Look at the way Bilstein did it. I think this is much elegant. Icon just put the stuff on the top, which also worked. The nice thing about this is that you can just use the little bracket that comes from the factory. For this one, I'm going to have to take off the bracket and install one of these. The Elevate upper controller was the same, which honestly, I like this, but it does require some work. But yeah, this is very nice. These guys also use a moon ball joint, the Elevate, and so does Bilstein. They look different, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just different level. Who knows? Another minor detail, but personal preference. This paint job on the Elevate is very glossy. On the Bilsteins is a lot more flat and matte, similar to the icons. I like that personally. I don't like the glossy stuff, but you know, it's not a big deal. Now, one big downside I would say about the Bilstein that the icon and the Elevate do better is that there's no cap that you can put on this. They haven't come up with one. I know it's not necessary, but from experience, this will get dirty and it will be a pain to clean. But I'll figure something out. Another thing that I thought was interesting is the bushings. The ones that come with the Bilstein are similar to the icon bushings. Let's see if I can take this off. There it is. See, the icon bushings have this middle piece, and they have these little channels. And when you put them together, it's all flushed. The Bilsteins, not sure why, don't have that. And I think, according to the instructions, this will need to be pressed in. Yeah, it's a little different. Also, I'm just noticing this thing is heavier. Feels denser than the one from Icon. Again, this is perfectly fine. It's not a big deal. Like this part never, this never failed me. The bushings did fail me in the past when I've tried, greasing them through the Zerk fitting. They got all warped. It was this side. It's more noticeable when it's under pressure. on the vehicle. They got all fucked up. So I know I will have to be careful when I do that with these. That is definitely an advantage of this from Elevate, that they're more like factory. But also this kept coming off when I was installing. It kept sliding around and I don't know why. I don't know. Again, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but that's just something I noticed. The other similarity between Bilstein and Icon is the washers, or this is a washer, right, that they use. Very similar, although I would say maybe the one that Bilstein uses might be a little bit thicker. Again, not that it makes a difference, but anyways, so just wanted to show that for anybody who is curious about these upper control arms. I think they're really nice quality, fantastic quality, some top notch. I know it's difficult to see on pictures, especially on the websites, because they just look so generic, but they're really nice quality upper control arms. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend these for anybody. Oh yeah, and they also came label, passenger, and it came with a barcode. The other thing I'm curious about is how they compare to this shape of the sign. It's very similar. The icons do this little angle, and to be honest, I think the icons might go out a little bit more here, which is probably why the icons were always able to clear any I never had any problem with the icons rubbing on anything. I've had upper controllers before make contact with the shocks and the springs at full droop, and then some were making contact at just regular ride height. I'm talking about a set of Dobinsons that I was running for a minute there that just kept making contact. But I'm pretty sure these Bilsteins will be fine. Let's see how they look next to the Elevates. Yeah, that's how new this still is. It's funny, the Elevates do that too. Do that little click, click. The clearance seems practically the same. Yeah, interesting. Anyways, for anybody who was curious, one last flyby just to show you. These are very nice. They'll probably make a great pairing if you are putting Bilsteins on your truck. 5100s, 6112s, 5160s, 8100s, 8112s. Okay, another thing. Look how nice pictures this comes with. How nice is that? Detailed instructions, big pictures, color pictures too. Alright, here is what it looks like finally installed. It's been a couple of weeks since I recorded the first part of the video and now, but I wanted to drive this around for a little bit, get the truck aligned just before I uploaded this. Installation went relatively easy. It was pretty straightforward. Now, that being said, I've installed a few upper control arms at this point, so I'm very familiar with how all of this goes. The whole front of the truck is now Bilstein, and so is the rear, and I like that. As you can tell, the clearance is pretty good. You know, it's not making contact with the springs. The suspension is at full droop. The ball joint attaches using a cotter pin, which I like. You know, it's like factory. As mentioned before, these don't have caps. Again, it's not a deal breaker, it's just annoying. I showed before, you have to remove the bracket that came from the factory here to run the ABS wire, but I actually like this. It's very clean. Here in the back, you can see where the circ fittings are. I was able to get my alignment within spec. That being said, I think my alignment is right at the maximum that I could get to stay within the green. I'm running these at around 2¼ inch of lift, which I think is ideal for the 4Runner. I can go higher if I wanted to, but I personally think that if I go anything higher than 2.5 to 3 inches, I might not be able to get my alignment fully corrected or all within the green with these upper control arms. That's just something that you should keep in mind if you're considering these. I think they work better if you stay at 2.5 and below. If you want to go 2.5 and above, you might want to look at something that has more adjustability. So that's all I wanted to show you. Here's the final result. If any of you are curious or have any questions for me, let me know. And here's one last look at how they look installed. I like how the sticker stands out. Yeah, that's it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Yeah, thanks for watching.